Hello again, and welcome back to the Clyde Guide, Cooking for One. Now today I'm making the Clyde Guide Admirals pie, and I'm going to make two of them. One to eat now and one to freeze to eat later. And that saves an awful lot of cooking time, and besides which it's the portions in which you buy the various ingredients that necessitates this. So the first thing we're going to do is mash up some potatoes. Now, I put these on before you got here, and I'm just going to strain them. I didn't boil them excessively. I simmered them for quite a long time in very hot water, and now I'm going to leave the skins on. Look, you can see that right there. The skins are full of nourishing vitamins and also fibre, which is very good for you. And I'm going to put 2 ounces of butter in the potatoes and mash them all up together. Get a kitchen roll, and then we can put this on one side. So let's get mashing. You don't need to stay and watch this all the way through. Now then, you can see that's about half a saucepan full of mashed potato with 2 ounces of butter in it. I use Mary's Piper potatoes. You can use whatever you like, but those are particularly good for mashing because they don't go all floury in the water as long as you don't boil them too excessively. Now, apart from butter, the other thing to put in is something creamy, and I use, as you know, ElmLea, and the reason I use ElmLea is because it's buttercream, and that means it's high in protein and low in fat. Double cream is delicious, but it's not particularly good for me. And I'm going to put quite a large amount in that mashed potato, and I've put about 3/4 of it in, and we'll see how that goes. You don't need to be shy with it because it will make the mashed potato very creamy and very delicious. I won't need any salt because the butter is salted. There we are. Put that on one side, and now we can turn our attention to the fish. So we put a light under our pan, and we're going to put in about 3/4 of a pint of milk into the pan, and that's because I'm going to poach my white fish. Today I'm using cod. You can use haddock, you can use sole, you can use tilapia, you can use any white fish you like. And I'm just going to gently insert my pieces of cod into the milk to poach. There we go. I'm going to flip that over. Make sure we get both sides cooked evenly. They don't have to cook all the way through because this is going in the oven eventually. And I've already turned my oven on to gas mark 4. If you bought frozen cod, even if it says cook from frozen on the packet, my advice is let it thaw first, which is what I've done. Now, the next thing I'm going to do is grease my dishes. Now, people have a lot of trouble with this. I don't, and that's because I buy my cooking oil in a spray. Now, I get this from Costco. This is canola oil, or as we call it, rapeseed oil. Same thing. It's a lovely flavourless cooking oil. It's harmless, and it's so easy to grease a dish. Watch this. There we are. That's that dish greased, ready to go. Now that fish is ready. I'm going to turn the flame right down, get my fish slice and take it out. Right, now then, we're going to pour the milk back into my Pyrex jug. I'll just do it over the sink so as not to make a mess. Yes, this is my favourite Tefal red spot pan. There we are. Put that back on the heat, and now we're going to put another 2 ounces of butter in that pan, and just gently break up, not smush it too much, just gently flake the cod. Right, let's turn that up a little bit now, because we want to just put some colour on the salmon. This won't take very long. We're going to put the skin side down first, and there you can see the old salmon is just nicely getting a bit of colour on it. Right, we're going to flip it over. We'll soon see if it's ready, because I'm going to grab the fork and the fish slice and see if I can peel off the skin. And with a bit of luck, it will come off in one piece, just like that, and that's going straight in the bin. There we are, flip that over there, flip that over there, nearly done. And now we can put those in our dish with the cod. And that's just the right amount of butter there for my sauce. So I'm going to put in a heaped tablespoon of flour, a heaped wooden spoon of flour into my melted butter. Turn the heat right down for a minute. We want to gently cook that flour. We don't want it to brown. That's important. And make sure you mix it all up. You can take it off the heat to do this. And mix it all up, because you don't want any lumps in your sauce. And this way you won't get any. And now we can return that milk to the pan. Okay. And that sauce is now going to thicken beautifully. And while it's doing that, I'm going to get my fork and break up this salmon. Just mix it in with the cod. And the other thing I'm going to put in here, which I think you'll like, are what were frozen prawns. They're now thawed. They were pre-cooked. If they're pink, they're already cooked. So you don't need to add them to the pan in any way. So now we've got cod, salmon and prawns. Now, a whole load of dried parsley. I would use freshly chopped parsley, but it's February, and so my parsley plants are not growing at the moment, so I'm using dried parsley, and you know what, there's nothing wrong with that. You can see it's just the right consistency, and whilst that's just dehydrating, because it was dried parsley, get my pepper grinder out and add a nice sousal of freshly ground black pepper. Okay, mix that in. We're nearly done here. This is a very quick and simple dish to make. And now we're just going to gently pour it over the fish. Make sure we've got the same amount roughly in each one. You want it to sink all the way down to the bottom, and we're nearly done here. Right, now mashed potato. Now this is going to go on the top, and just gently so that it sits on top of the sauce. You can't push it down, else the sauce will come up over the sides. So you have to spread this out carefully. We'll use a fork in a minute, you'll see. This is the creamiest, butteriest, most delicious mashed potato you'll ever eat. Right, I'm just going to get the fork, as you can see, and just make sure that that is liberally and thickly spread across the top. When you put this in the oven, you'll need to put it on a baking tray because it might bubble over the edges. Some people are a bit put off when they see the potato skins in the mashed potato, but there's no reason to be, because they're very, very good for you, as long as you wash the potatoes, obviously. And it's time to add the finishing touch, which is grated cheese. And today I have a lovely big block of red Leicester, so I start grating. As always, before I started, I washed my hands thoroughly. All of the surfaces were cleaned down, and all of the food was allowed to come to room temperature. So I took it out of the fridge half an hour to an hour before I needed it. You can pile it up on your Admirals pie because it's going to melt down in the oven, self-evidently. And we grate it so that it will melt evenly. Cheddar's good, Swiss is good, Parmesan is good. I'm using red Leicester today because that's what I had. We've grated it all up and put it on our Admirals pie. And that, my friends, is now going in the oven at gas mark 4 for about 15 minutes. There's one, there's two, in it goes. Oh. See you in 15 minutes. Welcome back. Well, the 15 minutes has gone by. I whacked the oven up after the first 10 minutes at gas mark 4. I whacked it up to gas mark 8 for the last 5 or 6 minutes. Gas mark 8 is 230 centigrade, 450 Fahrenheit, and it's now ready to serve. So, get my oven gloves and get it out the oven. Ooh. Oh, look at that. So the great big one I'm going to eat right now, and the other one, the more sensibly sized one, I'm going to allow it to cool down and freeze it. Wrap it in foil is the best way. Wrap it in foil, put it in the freezer, and then at some future date in the next 3 months I can bring it out, let it thaw overnight, bung it in the oven for 10 minutes, and it'll be perfect. So there we are, the Clyde Guide Admirals pie. Absolutely delicious, takes 10 or 15 minutes to make plus the oven time, and there you go. I hope you enjoy it as much as I'm going to with this lovely glass of Chardonnay. Bye for now.